What's going on? This is Dan, another Moonshine talking. This time we're doing a commentary track for a match I was a part of back in October of '98. It's from St. Pete, Florida. It's in the back of Kahuna's Bar and Grill. They had an outdoor beach volleyball court there. They had an outdoor beach volleyball court. Say that three times. And once a month they would run shows there. And the ring was stiff as a bitch. It was kind of fun bumping outside because it's basically like bumping on a beach and you didn't really get hurt. The like I say, the ring was pretty firm, so it would jar you a little bit. The promotion was SPWF, Southeastern Professional Wrestling Federation. It was run by a guy named Frankie Reyes, who was a longtime promoter on the Indies down in Florida. He was a referee. He did some work with ECW reffing back in the day. And this is me coming up here. So Alice Dahmer, that was a gimmick that I was using at the time. I was poor. I couldn't afford gear. So the best thing I could come up with was doing the heavy metal gimmick that was popular. Raven, the Headbangers, Just Incredible. A lot of guys were doing that gimmick, kind of taking over the backyarder look with the heavy metal t-shirts, ripped up jeans, all that sort of stuff. I like the Headbangers. They were one of the first people that I saw doing the heavy metal gimmick. I would see them come to the ring in obituary shirts and stuff like that. And I'm a huge obituary fan, so that kind of stuck with me. And they would wear the striped stockings and fishnet gloves and fishnet shirts and crap like that. So I figured I would do that. And I asked my buddy Kevin, Sean Christine, who was going home to visit, and he was going to go stop at a Hot Topic. He said, bro, I can get you all that stuff if you want. So I threw him some money. And he came back with the fishnet stockings and the pink and black ones, which I'm sure to him he thought was an homage to Bret Hart. But it just kind of, in wrestling, it's, wearing pink is kind of, it's lends itself to a very niche market, shall we say. And I didn't really want to deal with that. So I eventually ditched the stuff and only used it a couple of times over the years, probably like a year later. Something like that. I can't remember at the time right now. But my opponent is, as you probably see in the title, is Buckwheat Dudley. He was a student of ours. He was a student at Malenko's. His name was Kurt. I don't remember his last name. If he ever sees this somehow, some way, I'm sorry, I don't remember your last name, Kurt, but you ruled. Kurt was from Texas. As you can see, he was a very small guy, but he was awesome. He could do all sorts of acrobatic stuff. You could throw him around at any angle, and he could do a arm drag, moonsault, hurricane rana, whatever you wanted. He was down for any sort of move. He was fun to work with, and I enjoyed that style because I love basing for guys, or I loved basing for guys and letting them do all the head scissor moves and like victory rolls, hurricane ranas, all that lucha libre type stuff. I enjoy. I'm not that athletic, and I never was, and so I couldn't really do the stuff. At least I never really attempted to. But I loved catching people and doing all the, just throwing myself around. And honestly, as you see, we did that. Started getting over a little bit. That's the stuff. Probably looking back, we probably should have done a lot more of. Focus more on just letting him get off and letting him showcase what he could do. That was kind of terrible, but they forgot about it in about 3, 2, 1. Yeah, that was pretty awesome. The sand flying up in the air, that was a nice added touch. The referee, by the way, is a guy named Mark the Mark. He was a longtime referee in the area. Calling him Mark the Mark. It was probably the beginnings of, oh, wait a minute, this is funny. I always loved that part. But yeah, we probably started all that irony in wrestling bit, which is kind of prevalent now, which is somewhat ruining the business a little bit. So I'm sorry that a lot of that was our fault. We started breaking kayfabe a little too heavily and trying to be too cute for the room with some of the stuff that we did. doing a little jaw jack while I'm in a submission slash rest hold. Oh yeah, a lot of my influences were Dean, Benoit. You can hear people chanting Brian in the back. Jet Jaguars watching the show. He wasn't part of the tournament or the promotion. He was just there hanging out. And, you know, a lot of people there, they're more familiar with him, liked him a little bit more. So they were chanting for him. That spin kick in the corner, I took that from Jerry Flynn. Not Jerry Lynn, Jerry Flynn, who was in WCW, did some work in Japan. He had a great one where he would do a rope flip after executing it over the top rope, and it looked really cool. But I could never get the hang of that. So shoot him off. We're about to, yeah, that's a mess up. But as we were always told, once you start messing up, your nerves get the best of you. You start gassing, start to take it home, which is what we did here with the sit-out gourd buster. I have a variation of that move that I did that I've never seen anyone do since. I'll show it on another video. And then I would always follow it up with this. This was my closer, as it were. As a headbanger, of course, you would do a diving headbutt. So I won, advanced to the semifinals, but since I moved back to New York, I never got into the semifinals. Frankie was kind of pissed about that, but, you know, these things happen. So, yeah, that's the match. That's kind of a brief overview of it, a little insight, a little bit of my mind working. Hope you enjoy it, and we'll do this again another time. Later.